Good evening, everyone. My name is Kati Salazar, and this is my video presentation for the first part of the course project in Computer Programming 1. So I've chosen the Group 2 topics, which are through the loops, dimensions of data types, introduction to functions or procedures. Looping in C++ is a means to repeat a series of statements based on the provided condition. One pass in the loop is called iteration. Like any other statements of a programming language, looping is also composed of several components. These components build up the phases that a looping statement needs to undergo internally. There are 4 phases of any looping statement in any programming language, and these are initialization, condition, body, and increment or decrement. Initialization is the phase in looping statements where a variable called counter is set an initial value. Condition is the phase in looping statements where an expression is evaluated, which dictates whether the loop should stop or continue. Body is the phase in looping statements where the statements inside the loop are executed. Lastly, the increment or decrement phase in the looping is where the counter is incremented or decremented. Increment means a variable is added by a certain constant, while the decrement is the counterpart of the increment, means a variable is subtracted by a certain constant. Looping statements in C++ is armed with 3 distinct looping statements which differ mainly on how and when the condition is evaluated. So the 3 looping statements in C++ are the while loop, for loop, and do while. The while loop is a looping statement in C++ where the condition is evaluated right before the body is executed. The for loop is the looping statement in C++ where the initialization, condition, and increment or decrement phases occur within the parentheses of the statement. The do while is the last looping statement in C++. The do while statement is closely similar to the while statement. They only differ when the condition is evaluated and when the body is executed. When dealing with looping statements, everything has been linear and straightforward. However, this is not always the case when we implement our solutions. In C++, we have 2 controlling statements which can change the flow of loops at any part of the iteration. These are the break and continue statements. The break statement terminates the execution of the entire loop that is encased. This is placed anywhere within the body of the loop. The continue statement terminates the execution of the current iteration. What it does is force the loop to skip the rest of the statements and proceed to the condition evaluation right away. So here we have the first dimension. A quick recap about variables. When the computer learns that a variable was declared, it allocates several spaces in the RAM for the declared variable. The number of spaces that will be allocated will depend on the data type of the variable. An array is a variable that can contain more than one value of similar data types. The syntax of declaring an array is data type, variable name, and size. It can be int, short, long, or any other remaining data types. Arrays in C++. Follow the general descriptions of the arrays as discussed in the previous topics, syntax, and data-wise. Here are some applications of arrays that will be used throughout this course. When declaring an array, we use the syntax data type, variable name, and size, and data type, variable name, row size, and column size. We assign values to the array as follows. Variable name index is equal to value, and variable name index 1 and index 2 is equal to value. We call the stored values in the array as follows. Cout variable name and index, and cout variable name index 1 and index 2. So the last topic is introduction to functions or procedure. Functions are a separate code block which performs one specific task. This separate code block can accept inputs from the other code blocks. In addition, they can also return back values which can be a result of the actions performed within the function. Components of functions. A function is composed of several components which are similar to different programming language. Also, these components build up the function's properties and capabilities, which are exploited not only by the developer of the application, but also other developers who use several snippets of the source code. These components are return type, function name, parameters, and body of the function. The return type is the data type which the function shall return as its final execution. The function name is the alias which will be used to a reference to the function. Parameter is the component of a function which enumerates the input values of the functions. The body of the function is the group of statements within the code block of the function. So that's all for the first part of the course project. Thank you for watching.